welcome you into Puck Drop Preview here on the Mountaineer Hockey Network. Today we sit down with the whole entire G2 coaching staff. Joining me today is Nate Connolly, Tony Manuel, and the guy with a big beard, Adam Brown. Folks, how we doing? We'll start with Nate and work our way down.
Good, Camden. Happy to be here. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. And Adam?
Good, Camden. Happy to be here. How are you?
I'm doing great. And Tony?
Cam, I'm so glad to be here.
Oh, I'm very glad. Well, let's start off. We all know who Adam is. He's been on the show plenty of times. And Nate, let's talk about you first. Give me a little background about yourself. I know you're Adam's wingman here, so lay it on me.
Yeah, so I'm Nate. I'm 28 years old. I've got into coaching about 6 years ago now. I started as a goalie coach at the high school I played at. Became a head coach at Shaler, and then found my way down here because of Adam. So that's my story.
Great story. And Tony, same question to you now.
I'm Tony, 27 years old. I just graduated in 2023. I did have the pleasure of playing with Coach Adam Brown. He reached out to me in the summer and asked me if I was interested in coaching. Never really thought about it, but man, I'm happy to be here. I really love our group. I think we're going to do some big things this year.
Well, let's first and foremost start off. Coach Adam, obviously a scary injury on the ice on Sunday with your star goaltender. Can you give us a little bit of an update about him? How is he doing?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you asked. I'm happy to report that Griff is good. He is in good spirits. We have to figure out what the length of time this is going to be is. He's working with a sports medicine doctor here at WVU. It's some sort of hip irritation that he has. They're trying to figure out exactly what it is. But we're talking what looked like it could have been at least a semester-ending injury or worse. We're talking maybe 6 weeks, something like that. So Griff is good. He's in good spirits. He'll be there Friday to cheer on the boys.
Yeah, and then we'll follow that up right up here. You have two backup goalies. You have got Cav and you have Bernier. What is that like now? What kind of workload do they get now?
It's been a lot on them at practice, just the amount of reps that we have during our drills. So we brought in D3's developmental goalie to help out at practice a little bit, and he has done a tremendous job. It's very good for him to see the D2 shots at least a couple times a week. And then game wise, it kind of, yeah, Griff being out, it threw our script kind of out the window a little bit. We're just gonna play it live and kind of see what happens. But I'm excited to see what those guys can do. Don't get me wrong, Griff is a very vital part of this team, but we have plenty of talent behind him that we get to showcase. So that's the one maybe silver lining to this, if there is one, is we get to see what those guys can do.
Don't
Nate,
forget about the emergency goalie.
Yeah, Cam, to fill you in a little bit, we did we don't usually do this very often, but we did a scout goalie at practice. So in anticipation of Denison coming up this weekend, we had Coach Nate Connolly in his goalie gear wearing his big red jersey, so the boys had something to shoot at.
Still got it, by the way.
He does still got it.
He
how
looked
many
good.
goals did he let in? How many goals did he let in?
Zero.
Not very many.
Less,
He was
less than I
battling.
thought.
Well, Nate, to you now. Obviously, you're in charge of scouting teams. Denison's coming in, pretty big matchup. What are you seeing from them in terms of their style of play?
Yeah, I mean, Denison's a team that we know really well at this point in my coaching career. We've played them 3 times already, and it's just a lot of the same. They have their top dogs. They're really high-end skill, and then they love to transition off the rush. They love to try to score on the rush. That's their offense. That's the scouting report on Denison. I mean, if you can contain them on the rush, then you have a chance of winning.
And
Sorry,
Tony,
that's my daughter screaming.
I didn't even hear it. So, and Tony, to you now. Your team, your first game was watching Ohio play us. What takeaways did you take from that?
Ohio's a very, very good team, always top in the country, and I thought we brought the play to them a lot. There's some things we can definitely clean up that we talked about yesterday that I think will help us going into the rest of the season. I think we can compete with any team in this country right now. I was really happy with the first game. Obviously, like I said, some stuff to clean up, but we have the pieces to go the distance.
And Adam, back to you now. Denison's looking for blood. It's quite obvious that that's their goal going into this game and this weekend series. What do you tell your boys knowing that they want revenge from that championship game and they just want to prove to themselves and to the ACC that they can compete with the top dogs?
Yeah, Denison is a very, very good team. And so what I always tell the guys is with us being the top dogs right now, every team is going to give us their best lineup. So every team wants to take a shot at WVU. Every team wants to beat WVU. So we never get maybe some scratches. No one's playing their first game against WVU right now. But what makes Denison unique this weekend is it is a team that it's a rivalry. I mean, Denison, it's all very, very respectful. It really is. They're great guys. Their head coach is a great guy, but they hate WVU. So it's one thing to get a team's best lineup. It is another thing for a Denison to come in and we are what's standing between them and maybe taking it to the next level. They hate us and they're going to play like they hate us and we don't like them because of the close proximity. And I think that it's going to be a very intense battle this weekend.
And follow up there, what do you tell your players knowing that they're going to want to play intense?
Have to be ready for 60 minutes both games or whatever it takes. And the reason that I say that is because given the rivalry that we have with Denison, it doesn't matter if the score is 7-0 one way or another. Everyone's going to play for 60 minutes because everyone wants to show the other team what they've got. So if we are up or down by, it can be 7 goals, it doesn't matter. You need to be willing to play 60 minutes because the other team is not going to let up. So you're going to see 2 60-minute, maybe 60-minute plus games on Friday and Saturday.
And Nate, following back up with you now, just recapping that Ohio just a little bit more. A lot of team resilience from your staff there. What did you like about that being as a coach?
I mean, that's all that you can ask for when you play a team like that. The guys never backed down, no matter. I mean, it was a roller coaster ride that game. So there was a lot of ups and downs, especially after the Griff injury, and guys had to kind of find their composure and keep competing. So that resilience, like you said, is something that you love to see out of a group. I mean, going through something like that, I mean, means you can battle through anything and you can play with anybody.
And Tony, non-related hockey question here. Do you suck at golf?
Not the
Yes,
best,
yes.
not the worst. I battle through. I'm a grinder. I'm on
Very
pace
good.
for like mid 90s right now, so we're in it.
For the record, this is the first coaching interview that we have done where we have a coach on an iPhone at a golf course. Just throwing that out there. Probably the first and
That
last.
that's because I want to be here. I I've loved my time so far. We have a great group. You know, love Nate and Adam. You know, love everyone else involved. You guys have been very welcoming, so that's why, you know, I am at the golf course, but I want to be a part of this. I really do love being in West Virginia.
True West Virginia talk right there. As we wrap it out here, Adam, what are your expectations for this weekend?
My expectations is it's 2 big wins. I'm looking to give you something else. I would say 2 big wins, but like I said, it's going to be no matter what the score is. It could be tied, it could be overtime, it can be a blowout one way or another. You're going to get 60 minutes both days of very, very intense hockey because every team wants to show the other team what they're made of because there's a really good chance that we see this team again in February.
Nate and Tony, but question for both of you. Who are your star players for this weekend? Who you're looking to stand out against Denison? We'll start with Nate.
I'm going to start with the guy in between the pipes for his first big start, Bernier for sure. I think he has so much talent. I think he's gonna step right in and do a good job. Um, I'll give you a skater now. I'm gonna go with Sean Sullivan.
I'm looking to have all 4 lines going. I think that's our advantage is we do have 4 lines we can continuously put out there. I'm going to agree with Nate. I'm looking for a big game out of Sullivan.
Man, okay, let me stray a little bit. First of all, I'm very excited to see what the burn show, that's what they call them, what the burn show can do between the pipes. Um, Give me a big weekend out of gold lines. So take your pick, whether it's Mark, Mitch, Brosy. I think that is our most talented line offensively. and they didn't put up any points against OU. I would say that they're feeling pretty hungry right about now, so we might see a bit of an offensive explosion out of those guys.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. This is the first time we've done 3 coaches and a whole coaching staff. A little bit chaotic. I gotta tell you, I had a lot of fun with this. A lot of learning experiences here. So I thank all of you, especially you, Mr. Golfer, for taking time out of your day. Any closing remarks that any of you 3 want to start making?
Make a statement.
Yeah, I just want to say that we're a resilient group, and even though Tony's on the golf course, like at the end of the day, D2 gets the job done. It doesn't matter what it takes. We will get it done. I will point out that this is slow play by Tony. He is holding the course up, and we at D2 do not condone slow play on the golf course.
There's nobody behind us.
Besides, I've never been happier than to be on Puck Drop Preview, Camden. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All righty, coaches. Well, thank you very much. And we will see you for 2 matchups against Division II's Denison team, against obviously West Virginia's Division II. I'll be on the call for both those games. Joining me is Richard Turkovich, and we have a women's Division II game following the conclusion of the Division II game. Ian Murray will be on the call with Richard Turkovich. For me, Camden Bilotti, Adam Brown, Nate Connolly, and Mr. Tony Manuel. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Cam.